The realm. Do you know what the realm is? It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agree to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones Season 8 theory video. Today I will be talking about our old friends Varys and Tyrion Lannister. These are a couple characters that have been around ever since the very first season of this amazing show. They weren't extremely close at the beginning of the story, but over the years I think it's safe to say these two characters have grown on each other and even us as the audience. Their relationship became much closer after Varys did help Tyrion escape from King's Landing. Ever since then, you can usually find both of these characters in the same scenes with each other. We can even see Tyrion and Varys with each other in the new trailer. Now that we are heading into the final season, everyone wants to know what will happen to all of the characters. Now, the interesting thing about Tyrion and Varys is they typically do more counseling than they do fighting. Now, we did see Tyrion Lannister fighting during the battle at Blackwater Bay, but we have never seen Varys fight in one of the battles. It doesn't look like he will be doing much fighting in the final season either. We could see Varys hiding down below Winterfell in the Season 8 trailer. So the question is, what can we expect to see from these characters? What can they have Varys and Tyrion do that would give their characters an interesting or exciting ending? Well, I think I may know how both of their stories end, but you might not like it. Last year, I made some videos where I talked about some potential outcomes for Tyrion and Varys. In those videos, I said I believe one of them may betray Daenerys Targaryen. Since then, I have continued to think about this, and I am now wondering if Tyrion and Varys could betray Daenerys together. Now, I know that might sound crazy right now because both of them are two of Dany's most closest advisors, but let's just take a look at some of the evidence. I believe the writing is already on the wall for both of these characters to betray Dany. It seems like they have been foreshadowing this ever since Season 6, but it starts to become very obvious in my opinion once you rewatch Season 7. Now, it may be a little harder for me to show you why I think Tyrion will betray Dany because the clues for this have been a little more subtle than it is for Varys. Now, it's no secret that Dany and Tyrion were not seeing eye to eye during last season, no pun intended. That all started when Tyrion was having to start to strategize attacks against his own family. Now, we all know Tyrion and Cersei do not like each other very much, but that doesn't mean Tyrion is ready to have her killed. Daenerys even started to question this herself. What Daenerys said to Tyrion on the beach of Dragonstone may have been a big clue about his actual intentions. Now, before I start showing you any of the video clips, make sure you look very closely at the ways Dany and Tyrion look at each other in these scenes. The dialogue doesn't always tell the full story. Sometimes a character's expression can say a lot.
Commit to the blockade of King's Landing. We have a plan. It's still the right plan.
The right plan. Your strategy has lost us Dawn, the Iron Islands, and the Reach.
If I have underestimated our enemies...
Our enemies? Your family, you mean? Perhaps you don't want to hurt them after all.
So as you can see, Daenerys is beginning to question Tyrion's loyalty. Dany isn't quite sure that Tyrion is actually ready to defeat his own family, which is understandable. Like I said, Tyrion may not like Cersei, but he doesn't necessarily want to see her or Jaime get killed in the process of Dany taking the Iron Throne. If I were Daenerys, I would be keeping a close eye on Tyrion myself, because as we all know, blood is always thicker than water. Now, at the end of this episode, when Dany attacks the Lannister army, you can see all of this is starting to weigh on Tyrion as he watches some of his own former men get burned alive. You have to remember, Tyrion most likely fought side by side with some of these men during the Battle of Blackwater Bay. It wasn't too long ago when Tyrion was having to count on these men for survival. So you can understand why we can see the pain on Tyrion's face. Not to mention, he was also worried that his brother could get killed during that attack. Now, in the very next episode, we begin to see the foundation of their relationship start to crack even more. This is when Dany decides to burn the Tarlys for not bending the knee. This is something that Tyrion does not agree with, but the decision has already been made. Just take a look at the way Dany and Tyrion are looking at each other in those scenes. If looks could kill, one of them would have been dead already.
I'm not here to put men in chains. If that becomes an option, many will take it. I gave them a choice. They made it.
Your Grace, if you stop beheading entire
I'm
families...
not beheading anyone.
As you can see, Dany and Tyrion's relationship isn't working like it once was. They both have two very different ways of approaching things. Shortly after this is when we see Tyrion and Varys having a conversation about Dany.
You need to find a way to make her listen.
Now what's interesting about this is I don't think Tyrion will ever find a way to make Daenerys listen. Next season we will finally see Daenerys attack King's Landing to take back the Iron Throne. The only problem is I also think Daenerys will have no choice but to burn the city. I don't think Tyrion wants to see that happen, but let's continue. Now let's take a look at another scene from last season. This time Tyrion and Dany are talking about succession. He wants to know what Dany's plans are for the future. How does she plan on keeping the wheel broken after she dies, but Dany doesn't want to talk about this at all until she actually takes the Iron Throne. This leads to another disagreement between the two characters. Now take a look at Tyrion's face right as Dany leaves the room. Like I said, if looks could kill, Dany would have been dead at that moment.
Is this one of the items you discussed with your brother in King's Landing?
I'm trying to serve you by planning for the long term.
Perhaps if you planned for the short term, we wouldn't have lost Dawn and Highgarden. We will discuss the succession after I wear the crown.
As you can see, they cannot agree on anything, but this isn't the only disagreement in that episode. Later, Dany decides to go out beyond the wall to try to save Jon and company. Tyrion thought this was too big of a risk. He knew that Dany could potentially die, therefore all the progress they have made would have been for nothing. But Dany could not just sit by while the other characters were in serious danger. Then, in the very next episode, the Season 7 finale, I think we get even more foreshadowing for a betrayal coming from Tyrion. It starts with the meeting at the Dragon Pit. As we all know, Tyrion volunteers to go inside to try to change Cersei's mind about helping them. After talking to Cersei for a few minutes, he notices Cersei doesn't drink any alcohol, so he comes to the conclusion that Cersei has to be pregnant. As soon as Tyrion says that out loud, the scene comes to an end. We have no idea what happens next. All we know is Cersei does come outside to agree to help Jon and Dany, although we later find out that she lied. So the million-dollar question is, what else did Tyrion say to Cersei? Do they now have some kind of a secret plan? We will find out next season. Then we get one more scene after this, which is the infamous look on Tyrion's face as he realizes Jon and Dany are having sex together. Now there are a lot of different reasons why Tyrion could have had that look on his face, but we won't know for sure until next season. After taking a look at some of those scenes again, it does look like they are foreshadowing something. Now let me show you how this connects to Varys. Obviously, we get one of our biggest clues from Melisandre. During last season, we saw a conversation between Varys and Melisandre when they were both at Dragonstone together. This was when Varys told Melisandre she should not stay in Westeros because it might not be safe. Melisandre told him she was leaving for Volantis, but she would come back one last time. Melisandre said that she would die in Westeros, but she also said that Varys would die too.
Oh, I will return, dear Spider. One last time.
My lady.
I have to die in this strange country. Just like you.
You could see that this scared the shit out of Varys. He has to be wondering why she would say that. Does she know something he doesn't? Maybe Varys already knows this as well, because as we all know, Varys did hear a voice from the flames when he was just a child. We actually heard about this story when, interestingly enough, Varys told it to Tyrion Lannister. Varys told Tyrion some of the story about how he was cut as a child.
He burned my parts in a brazier. The flames turned blue, and I heard a voice answer his call. I still dream of that night. Not of the sorcerer, not of his blade. I dream of the voice from the flames. Was it a god, a demon?
We have yet to find out what that voice said, but whatever it said continues to haunt Varys till this day. Varys has hated magic ever since. He also does not like anyone that follows R'hllor, which we all know Melisandre and Kinvara do. When Melisandre told Varys he would die, I think this actually scared him because she basically confirmed whatever he heard from the flames. Now the question is, how will Varys die? It doesn't look like he will die in battle because we never see him fight. Also, like I said at the beginning of the video, we can see Varys hiding down in the crypts of Winterfell. So, if Varys doesn't die in battle, then there must be another reason, which leads me to my next scene. I think we got one of our biggest clues from Kinvara. Now what's also interesting about this scene is who Varys was with when Kinvara told him this. That's right, you guessed it, Varys was with none other than Tyrion Lannister, his new partner in crime. I believe Kinvara tells us exactly why Varys will die, and it may end up being the same reason why Tyrion dies next season too.
Should I tell you what the voice said? Should I tell you the name of the one who spoke? We serve the same queen. If you are her true friend, you have nothing to fear from me.
As you can see, Kinvara questions Varys' loyalty. She does this because she does not fully trust him, most likely because she has already seen something in the flames as well. In fact, we know she has seen something because she says, "Do you want me to tell you what the voice said?" That also scared the shit out of Varys because he does not want to believe it, but Kinvara and Melisandre are basically confirming it. They were not there when Varys was cut, but they already know how his story ends. Kinvara told him, "We serve the same queen. As long as you are her true friend, you have nothing to fear from me." The only problem is Varys is not her true friend. Well, at least not for long. We know something will go wrong because Melisandre has already told us Varys will die. Now let's take a look at another scene from last season. Once again, Daenerys has to question loyalty. I believe what Daenerys says to Varys is also some foreshadowing about how their stories will end. Varys will end up betraying Daenerys Targaryen next season, as will Tyrion Lannister. Like I said, Varys and Tyrion are always together. We see them together in most of their scenes. Well, as I said before, I believe the writing is already on the wall.
Swear this to me, Varys. If you ever think I'm failing the people, you won't conspire behind my back. You'll look me in the eye as you have done today, and you'll tell me how I'm failing them.
I swear it, my queen.
And I swear this. If you ever betray me, I'll burn you alive.
They have been setting this up since season 6, but even more so during last season. There are more than enough scenes to go back and see where they laid the groundwork for this betrayal. Since Varys and Tyrion are always together, I believe they will do this together. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think that is enough foreshadowing, or am I looking too far into these scenes? Anyways, I want to thank everyone for watching today's video. I also want to thank all of my Patreon supporters. I hope everyone has a great day. I will see you again very soon. Bye.